What is up? It is Big Char Trades back with a little bit of a different video today. Today I am going to be interviewing the one and only Keyflow Trades. He is my day one day trading mentor. No, but actually this is a new series that I'm going to do. I figured what better first guest to have on than Keyflow. He's done some crazy stuff. He's been trading for around like 7 years. He actually made a little bit over $300,000 in one day trading. So we're going to start with that, and then we're going to get into the strategy that he trades, his psychology, his story, everything you need to know about him. And yeah, this guy basically taught me how to read a candlestick for the first time, and he was there with me while I was blowing through all my accounts as well. So with that being said, introducing Keyflow Trades here. Made $300,000 in the day. Keyflow, you can go ahead and introduce yourself, and then I want to dive into that because that's a pretty crazy story. I feel like not many people know about.
Yep. What's up, guys? My name is Keyflow or Harris. Yeah, I've been trading for about 6 years, 7 years. Happy to be on here.
Yeah, so I figured, give the people what they want. Tell them about that $300,000 day. How did it happen? What was going on in your life? Did you have any money leading up to that, or what's that story looking like?
Yeah, so this is back in early 2021 when I used to just be I was primarily trading options, full-time options trader. Actually, I just went full-time. And
You were in the military, right, during that time?
I was, yep, I was. The military is kind of how I got my, like start into trading to begin with. That's how I got like the capital. Because, okay, this is like not relevant to the current topic, but the way I got started and like built the capital was I was going away for boot camp, and right before I went away is when that GMC and AMC or GME AMC craze was happening, and I had put a bunch of money into AMC, and while I was in boot camp, I got my phone for the first time like a month into boot camp, and
How much did
I
you
saw that
put
I was.
into AMC?
I think whatever I had to my name at the time, I think it was around 4 grand,
All
five
of
grand,
it?
something like that. Yeah, yeah. Every dollar I had to man, because I mean, I wasn't gonna use any money, right?
Yeah.
And I was actively making, I was getting paid while I was in boot camp, so it was fine. It's not like, bro, I wasn't spending my money on anything.
Do they
So
do they does the military pay for all your necessities, or how does that work?
yeah, yeah. While you're in boot camp, you're not like paying for like a house or anything like that, right? You're not paying for a car. You're not paying for anything because you don't have anything.
Hmm.
They give you food. They give you a place to stay. So you don't have any expenses.
So that's why
So
you felt
yeah, I
comfortable.
put my entire bank account at the time. I put into AMC, and when I got my phone back, I was up around I think $60,000, and I ended up selling, and that was like close to the top. I sold, secured all that money, and then when I got out, I
Wait, let
got
me
like
let me interject for a second here because I want the people to know this is your first time in this time period of your life. You've never seen that kind of money before, correct?
no, yeah, never.
Yeah. So when you saw that 60,000, you were like, "Holy shit!"
I was freaking out. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's why I sold.
Because in the military, you're also surrounded by all these guys who haven't seen that money either. So you're the fucking big baller with 60 grand to your name now.
Yes.
So the
Yep.
logical next
Exactly.
step is to get more involved in trading, obviously,
Right. Right.
so you can
Exactly.
continue the story.
Yeah. So I already had like a baseline level of knowledge when it came to trading at the time, because I had been unprofitably trading for a little bit. So I knew what I was doing to some extent, right? Like at the time, I was just trading retail concepts and all that EMAs and support and resistance and
Bull
whatnot.
flag.
So that's something I just basically doubled down on while I was in boot camp. I just started like I while I was there, I was like, yeah, this is what I want to do for the rest of my life, right? Um, and I ended up making that money. That was like my big break. So now I had some sort of capital to kind of like do something with this. Now I could actually make real money. And when I got out, I got another like $7,000 because I had a bonus when I signed up, and so I had like a good amount of capital sitting in my portfolio, and I was ready to trade. And at the time, I had a job, I was a full-time car salesman. That was my job.
Go figure.
And so, what?
Go
Okay,
figure.
anyways. Yeah. So I made a bunch of money from that. Every dollar that I used to make at the time would go basically just straight back into my portfolio. Now, at this time, I was still like kind of unprofitable, right? I remember before I left for the military, I was unprofitable. When I came back, I'm still obviously profitable. I haven't really made real money besides the AMC move.
Yeah.
But now I got to keep that money. That's the hard part. So I decided to just like go all in, learn as much as I could. I had a pretty good deal going on with my manager at the time. Funny story. I gave my manager CEI, if anybody remembers back
Zach
then,
Morris
CEI.
days.
Zach Morris days, CEI was like a big one. It popped. It went from like a few cents to like $4. I gave that to my manager, and my manager ended up making a little over 10 grand on it. And so I was able to basically skip out on those like early morning sales meetings that we had, which they had a sales meeting from like 9:30 right at market open at 10.
So
So
inconvenient.
those 30 minutes, the most important 30 minutes of my day, especially as an options trader,
Yeah.
I had to
Gone.
be in a sales meeting, right?
Gone.
So I was able to skip out on that sales meeting, and basically while they were doing their sales meeting, I'm like just trying to make my money for the first 30 minutes and then just call it a day so I could, do my job.
Or I better. I
Um,
better get those 30 minutes off if I just made my fucking manager 10 racks.
exactly,
Like,
exactly. That was my deal with him. I was like, bro, like I gave you this. If you want more, just give me this. Just give me this 30 minutes off. I will hook you up with more. Um,
and what's your
so
portfolio sitting at this point? Like, because I know you said you just started trading options and stuff. Are you losing money, or are you sort of break even? Are you making money?
No,
What's
no. At this point, I'm still losing money. Even the money that I made, I'm still losing it. Slowly, I'm just chipping into my win.
Yeah.
But it's my portfolio at this time. I think it was probably no more than like 60,000. I don't think no more than that.
Hmm.
Um, and so for the next like several months, it was just this cycle of constantly just putting money in and losing money, putting more money in, losing money, and you know, at some point I had, sort of like a breakthrough where I figured out a good system. I got my psychology on lock, which I'll tell you guys about later. And I started slowly just making money, right? And then I had kind of my first like break even year. Then I had my first green year. My first ever green year was where this story comes into play of me making 300K. So my edge at the time, I relied heavily on trading SPY, QQQ, SPX. That's what I primarily traded. I never usually traded like individual names, Tesla, Apple, and stuff like that. I left that stuff alone. I just loved indices. I love trading the indices.
Who are you
And
primarily learning from at this point in your trading career?
nobody really. At this time, it was more like I would just go through Twitter and I would see how people are trading on Twitter, and I would kind of like adapt different things into my system and try to make something of my own. There was really nobody that I watched earlier on who was like a mentor whose like exact system that I used.
Hmm.
I kind of just had like a bunch of things from other people, from different people, and just made my own thing.
That
Um,
probably made you a better trader faster, no?
I mean, yes and no. Like for me, because I was doing it all by myself, it took a little bit longer. Maybe if there was somebody there who had given me a system, and maybe if they were like there to hold my hand and for me to watch them trade every day, like things like that, yeah, I would have probably been profitable faster.
Hmm.
Um, but it took a little bit longer, but I don't regret that that's the way it went for me because in the end, it made me a better trader. So that was pretty much like the longest part of my journey, was finding a system that I liked that worked for me and my personality as a person. And once I found that's the longest part of anybody's trading career.
Yeah.
Once you find that, it's smooth sailing from there.
Yeah, and it
So
typically takes a few months to find that. So now dive into uh dive into that $300,000 day. How did that come about? What were you trading and how did you fall into place there?
yeah, so I was trading a lot of FOMC days at this time because FOMC is very, very volatile, and it's also fairly predictable. At least it was back then. Maybe now not so much. But back then it was so simple. You'd have a two-phase move. one move went down and then the other move went up, or vice versa. So simple. And this day, it was FOMC, and I had traded enough FOMCs, trading SPX 0DTs at this time, to know kind of like what I was doing. And so this specific FOMC, I was like, you know what, like I'm gonna size heavy into this trade.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just like every other FOMC. Thankfully, there was no like, crazy stuff happening. And I had, I think, close to about $70,000 into 0 DTE SPX
That's like
contracts.
a full port or nearly full port at this point.
No. At this point, like
You were good.
I was profitable for several months.
Oh, okay,
Yes.
okay, okay.
Yeah.
So you put
So
$70,000 into these SPX puts.
into 0 day SPXs. Yep. Super risky. They could
Brave.
have went to zero. Yep. And so I ended up taking that $70,000 went, I believe that those contracts went somewhere around 300 to 350%.
Jesus.
That wasn't even the high. I sold early, but I just slowly started trimming my trade. And at this time, I used to have my P&L turned off. So I
Mm-hmm.
never knew like how much I was up on the day. I only could see percentage on my contract, and I wasn't about to sit there and calculate the percentage to see like, yo, how much am I up?
You'd
And
be
that
shitting
was like
bricks
a
if you saw that number.
exactly. But this is why I did it though,
Yeah, yeah,
is
yeah.
so I wouldn't do that,
Yeah.
and I wouldn't focus on the money, and just I would focus on the trade by itself. But the market, I literally still remember the market dumped, and as it's dumping, I'm buying contracts. I'm buying contracts. You can't like, it's very difficult to limit into or market into $70,000 worth of a trade. So you have to partial in basically, right? You're not going to get filled at the price that you want when you're entering with 100
And
contracts.
for
It's
everybody
going to be
that
impossible.
doesn't know, so SPX puts or calls, that's an option. SPX moves really fast. It's how you see all the people on like Twitter who make bank trading. They're trading like NDX or SPX, and these are like one contract is what, like 4 or 5 grand, and it moves so fast. Yeah, so you can get
Yeah.
wiped out really easily with these options.
Yeah, very easily. Or you can make a lot of money very easily. It's SPX it's extremely volatile. You can have a contract go from $100 to $10,000 in a matter of like 5 minutes,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
It depends on the underlying move.
yeah.
And so, yeah, of course, lots of risk being put on here. And I ended up like basically partialing into my trade. Trade started going up. I started trimming out of my trade, and I'm watching the percent just shoot up because we were getting an extremely large move on the underlying. And next thing I know, I fully closed the trade out around 350%. I had like 17 contracts left. Fully closed that thing out. As soon as I see the first red candle on that 1 minute, I open up my P&L and I'm up around $300,000 in the day. First thing I did, took a screenshot. And I low key like didn't really speak about this at all. I think this is the first time I'm publicly telling the story because it's just not something I
Yeah.
like. I don't know. I just don't like
It
talking
doesn't,
about.
yeah, it's not like how you, like, it doesn't make you up as a trader, right? Like, you're not out here making 350 grand every day. So, like, if you say that, it sort of like portrays the fact that that's what you do, and it's just not typical. So, that may be why you've been keeping it a little on the DL.
Yeah. That, and it's like, I don't know. I feel like the evil eye stuff. I don't know, bro. There's
Yeah,
like so many superstitions that come into place when you make that much money. So
yeah,
I
yeah,
was
yeah.
like, let me just keep this on the down low and like not tell too many people about
And
it. I told a good amount of people.
what was going through your head when you saw that number, or that day, or the next few days? What was that like? I know a lot of people say when they see a huge sum of money, they're typically super excited for like a day or two, and then it's just back to normal after that. Was that how you felt, or?
Yeah. It was kind of the same day for me, really. I was super, of course, bro. I was freaking out, like running around my house. I was like there was nobody at my house. It was just me. I was freaking out,
Hmm.
and I literally ended up like going to go get ice cream, and then I took a nap. That was the remainder of my day.
And what'd you
Uh,
do with that money? Did you keep all of it in, or did you withdraw, or?
I kept a good chunk of it in. I took out some of it. I bought cars. I bought like, I went and bought stupid shit because this is the first time in my life that I'm able to actually buy the things that, that I want to buy.
Hmm.
And so I was like, let me treat myself. Let me take it out. Let me spend some money. I would go a spot buy like stupid designer things. Now,
Chrome
like that,
lights.
all that is like extremely stupid. But at the time, it was super cool. So I was going to the mall like every other day, buying stupid ass designer items. I would buy my friends like a lot of stuff. I'm like, I like taking care of my people. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
So if we would go out with my friends, I would just pay for everything. Little things like that, bro. It's just I stopped caring about money. Money didn't really mean as much to me anymore because I went from working like 8 to 10 hour shifts, 12-hour shifts sometimes at the dealership, to sometimes make like $300 a day. And now I'm literally pressing a few buttons and I'm making thousands, hundreds of $1,000s in like an hour.
The
So money starts to like not
Yeah,
hold as much of a value anymore because you're not actively trading your time for money. Now it's like a skill thing. The more skillful you are, the more money you make. Not the more time you put into your
yeah,
job, the more money you make. It's the other way around now.
yeah, yeah.
So,
It's funny to picture you working in a car dealership because you're kind of like an introvert type of guy. You're not really like the type of guy to go be out there talking to people every day. So it probably was pretty refreshing for you to like go from that sort of lifestyle to be able to just make money from your house and just chill by yourself and hang out with your girl, whatever.
yeah, bro, 100%. I didn't know how people did it, bro. Like, I mean, like I could do it to some extent, put
Hmm.
on like an act, but that's really all it was, bro.
Were, were there
I knew people that were
sorry, continue.
I was saying I just knew people that were working at that dealership for like 40, 50
Yeah,
years,
that's
bro, and I was
crazy.
like, dude, I don't know how you guys do this.
Were there any points, because I know this is definitely something that people want to hear about. Um, were there any points throughout your trading career before nowadays, like back then, trading options? It's not all like sunshine and rainbows. There are points where you're down bad. Were there any points where you were almost like, I need to quit this shit, like I need to give up because this shit isn't working? Does that ever happen to you?
Several times,
Several
several
times.
times.
Can you
That
dive
happened to
into
me.
that?
Yeah, so the first time, I mean, I won't even talk about the first few times because that was before I was even profitable. I feel like everybody goes through that.
Hmm.
Um, you know, but it was like the typical I was at it for so long and I wasn't making money. And at the time, I'd kind of put a break on college. And I come from an immigrant family where college and education is like the biggest thing. So, here my parents are, trying to tell you they're like okay with me trying to focus more on trading,
Which
and
is
here
wild.
I'm not making anything. I'm making zero money. So I have nothing to show for myself for like a year.
Yeah.
So that was like very disheartening. But then later after I actually became, profitable after I made a good amount of money, this is after the 300K day, by the way. Uh I had a very bad year. And I think this was like 2022. I had a pretty bad year. Dude, lost a lot of money. And as you can imagine, so a lot of people will think, dude, he made X amount of money. He made $300,000 in one day. Like, how do you just lose that all? Like, if I made 300K, I would make that stretch for a year. Yes and no, because now once you make that money, your lifestyle kind of elevates, right? You're obviously not going to stay at the same lifestyle that you're not going to be, living at home. You're not going to be driving the same Honda. You're not going to be doing this and that and the third. Your lifestyle goes up. So obviously, I had to keep making enough
Yeah.
money to keep up with my lifestyle,
Yeah.
and I wasn't able to do that. So like had to make a lot of sacrifices in terms of my lifestyle, and I was down to $4,000 in my bank account.
Wow.
You
In
know, and
2022.
this is after
It's after
2022.
the
This is
300K.
after the 300K, you know what I mean? So I was down to my last 4K, and I had like a decent chunk of money in my portfolio, but like my bank account, which I'm using to survive and live every day, $4,000, that'll get me through the month. That's it.
Yeah.
The next month I'm cooked.
Yep.
So I basically, like, dude, I ended up calling one of my friends. Should I say who it was?
Yeah.
I'll say who it
Yeah.
was. It was
Yeah.
Shinobi.
Yeah.
So I called my friend Shinobi at the time, who Shinobi was doing really, really well. He's like my one of my best friends, actually my best friend for a very long time. And he got on the phone with me, and I was like, bro, I'm down to my last 4K, and dude, I think I'm gonna have to. And on top of all of that, I had owed him money as well.
I
So
remember this.
I owed
Shinobi
him
told me
like
this story.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I owed him like a chunk of money, and I was like, damn, bro, like I gotta pay this guy back, and I still gotta like survive. Like, how am I gonna do this? And so I called him and I was like, yo, bro, like I think for a little bit I'm just gonna like put trading on the side and I'm gonna get a job and see what I could do there, and then maybe then I'll be able to pay you back in a few months, and then I get on my feet, and then we could well, we're even. He was like, bro, you're getting a job, like
In the
nah.
big 2023?
He's like in the yeah. He's like, bro, check your PayPal, and he sends me 4 grand. And I was like, holy shit, that was now another 4 grand that's stretched me out like 2 months. Now I could survive for like a few months, right? And I can I can try to make things work. And the next month or two, I basically just like locked in. I was, you know,
Still
uh,
options.
still options at the time, yeah.
You must.
Slowly making a transition into futures at this time.
Hmm.
I was doing futures at nighttime, like I would trade Asia session, and then in the daytime, obviously, I would trade options
You
because
must have.
I was still making more money trading options. I didn't know futures at the time at all.
You must have been
But
at a really low point to consider going back to get a job, huh? We can't even say that word nowadays,
yeah,
right? A job.
no, 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 you
Yeah.
can't say that word anymore. But
You were
yeah,
gonna go back
yeah,
to
bro, horrible.
car salesman, or
Yeah, yeah. Because I mean, bro, that's all I could do, right? I didn't have a college degree to go apply for like a big boy job. I'm not gonna go like obviously I need to do something where I can still make a good amount of money. Car sales, like if you're good, you could still make like 80K, 90K.
so if you
So
were if you made all this money at that point, and you've seen like those 50K, 60K, months, you've seen 300K in one day, what like kept you going? What like kept you wanting to trade even though it put you in that bad position where you had to seriously consider going back to a job?
So for me, I've always had a very long-term vision when it comes to trading. Even early on in my career, when I was first starting and I was unprofitable, I knew in the back of my head, I was like, this is what I want to do, and this is kind of like the cycle that everybody goes through, right? Everybody is going to get into this. Everybody's going to start losing money initially. Maybe you're the rare case that starts and they find somebody that's really helpful early on, and you don't have to go through that much. But back then, like that's how you learned. That's how you started, you know. And so when you have like a long-term vision, in my head, I'm thinking, I might take a loss today. I might take a loss tomorrow. I might have a red month. I might have a red year. But in 5 years, where am I going to be at if I stick to this? In 10 years, where am I going to be at if I stick to this? So to me, even, back then, a huge red day that obviously I'm a human being. Sometimes that would bother me a lot. Sometimes it would bother me for a little bit. But now, like it's not really something that bothers me too much,
That's
right?
actually a
Because
great point.
yeah, you cannot you cannot be like small-minded when it comes to trading because how are you going to be a good loser if you have, a really like small mind where you're thinking about, oh, I need to be green today, or I need to be green this week. I have to end this week green.
Yeah.
Is one red week going to affect your year? No. Is one red week going to affect your quarter? No. Is one red week going to affect your month? Maybe, but chances are no. Is one red day going to affect your week? Probably not, right? So you have to think like super long term, and that's what I did from the start, and that's what made me. That's like something that helped my psychology early on a lot, and that's how I was able to stick to this no matter what. There was not a single point in my career. I'll tell you this right now. Not a single point in my career where I ever thought about quitting after I had already started. Um, I've obviously thought about maybe getting a job so I can get more money to kind of survive for a little bit, but that was never with the intention to quit trading. It was with the intention to maybe just make a little bit of money, put some more money back into my portfolio, and then restart again.
Yeah.
That was always my intention. Never in my entire life have I ever thought I'm going to quit trading. Never, not once.
You actually, I'm actually very grateful because when I was going through it, and I've gone through it multiple times, as you know, through the text. I'm gonna fucking kill
Yeah.
myself.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I've gone through it multiple times, and I remember like ever since that first complaint to you of like wanting to quit, you told me the same shit about the long term vision. It's like if you can't handle one losing day, how the fuck do you expect to make any money from trading? And that's something I talk about a lot in my videos because all these people who are trying to get into trading, they love being green on the day, man. They love doing anything they can to make sure they're green on the day, and they don't even realize the negative effects that comes with. And you need to have that long-term vision so that you don't fuck yourself intraday, which is clearly what's happened here. So with that, I want to start diving into. I think that's a good segue into some psychology stuff. Um, you've been in the game for a long time. You've made a lot of money. How do you think about taking a trade nowadays? When you enter a trade, what are you thinking about? And I'm not talking about like what do you like, what do you see on the chart? I'm saying like, are you thinking about how much money you're going to lose? Are you thinking about sizing? Are you thinking about how much you're going to make? What are you sort of thinking about going into each trade that you take?
I'm thinking about when the hell the trade's gonna be over so I could leave my house.
Okay. Yeah, that's what I
I'm
think
not,
too.
no, dude. In all seriousness, though, like I, it's been a long time since I thought about like, you know, the outcome of a trade. This is like it's kind of weird to explain, but uh, I don't think about the win, like the I don't think about a trade in terms of like how much I'm gonna make on it or anything like that, right? When I enter a trade, this is my exact mindset. I usually have a RR tool drawn on pretty much all my trades. And if you have the RR tool drawn on TradingView, you know you can right click, create limit order, and you can see exactly how much you're going to win and how much you're going to lose on that trade. Uh, and I always look at how much I'm going to lose. And once I take the trade, I automatically subconsciously, I've already taken that loss. That amount that I was going to lose on that trade, I subtract it from my balance already. It's gone. So when I take that trade, I'm expecting a loss, right? Which is like, that doesn't mean I'm gonna take a loss, right? It just
Obviously.
means if I take a win, that's great. If I take a break even, I'm not going to crash out. And if I take a loss, I'm not going to crash out,
Yeah.
right? This is like my subconsciously, this has helped me in the last several years to not go on tilt. Because if you go into a trade and like I know myself, and if I go into a trade thinking, holy shit, I can make like $1,000, $2,000, $3,000 on this trade, and I end up taking break even, or I take a loss,
Hmm.
I'm going on tilt. I good chance I go on tilt, and
Yeah.
I'll go and I'll start like trading even more to make that $1,000, $2,000 that I was supposed to make. Then you take a few losses, and then you're like, okay, fuck it, like I'm gonna start sizing up now, and then it's just snowball effect. So, in terms of results for the trade, don't really care too much for it. I care about my setup, and that's it. I look at my setup. If it's a good setup, I take the trade. If it's a bad setup, I don't take the trade.
And what's your setup?
So my setup, I trade the PO3. So anything that I trade has to align with a 4 hour and a daily candle, right? And I take a now I've kind of like adapted my system a little bit to
Current market conditions are
work,
not
yeah,
supporting the
to
PO3 at all.
not support because my normal setup is a higher time frame PD array, SMT, change in stated delivery, liquidity sweep, and I take my trade. Right, this is like a checklist that I have, and that that system relies heavily on a market that is expanding. Right, market needs to expand in order for that system to work. Right now, we are in a market where it's not really expanding to one direction or the other. I can go look at a daily chart. In fact, if you guys are looking at this, if you guys are watching this video today, tomorrow, the day after, whatever, go and look at a daily chart of the Nasdaq, and you can see exactly what I'm talking about. Market has not been, moving in one direction, a trending market. We haven't had that for a while. We're at all-time highs.
So
So
how have you adapted?
so I've adapted by using lower time frame entries, lower time frame confluences, and another system that I'm currently working on. And I instead of my average trade, which would be 150 points, 100 to 150 points would be my average trade because remember I'm catching an expansion. Now is 30 to 40 points, 50
Yeah.
points max,
Yeah,
and
yeah. Dude, it's
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 just as effective.
it's
But
rough.
this is the thing though, like the market does this all the time. You have to be able to do this. There's not one system that works for a specific market. There
Mhm.
just isn't.
Mhm.
Okay. And what happens is if you don't let your system fail properly to kind of like make the changes that it needs, then you're always going to be one of those people that's just hopping from one system to another. Because a system that works good in this market is not a system that will work good in every market, right? That's just the nature of the market. Market goes through phases. This is how most people, this is like one of the trap that a lot of people get stuck in at first, especially if you're one of those people that's learning and on social media at the same time. You are going to be using a system that you think works really well. You're going to take a losing day, or you're going to have a losing day, or maybe even a losing week. You're going to go on Twitter. You're going to do one scroll, and you're going to see some guy just made $20,000 using his system this week, and you had a horrible week. So you're like, oh, holy shit, let me try this guy's system out. Congratulations. You're now in an unending loop, unending cycle of you going from one system to another, to another, to another, to another, because you just haven't allowed your
Yeah.
system to just fail properly so that you can make the necessary changes to it. Okay. My system, right? The PO3 system that I just told you guys about, that's something that took me a long time to develop over several different periods of the market, right? We went from a bear market to a bull market to a market that wasn't doing shit, right? This is I traded through all of these markets to finally develop a proper system. And when it first was a thing, when this system first came about, right, the win rate was amazing, such a good system. And
Dude, I
then
remember.
market kind of shifted, right? And then win rate went a little bit lower. So I added some more things. I added SMT, I added liquidity sweep. Then win rate went back up. Then the market changes again. Now win rate's back down. So now I'm making new changes to this, right? This is something you have to constantly keep doing. Otherwise, right, the only other thing that you could do is you have a system that's made for one specific type of market and you don't trade any of the other markets. That's it. A lot of people do that. I know a lot of people that do that. There's a guy that I know. I don't know him personally, but really, really good trader. His name's a Short Bear on Twitter. He hasn't taken a trade in 2 years. I think it's 2 or 3 years that
Wow.
he hasn't taken a trade in. Okay. Because his system doesn't work as well in this market, right? And obviously he doesn't have any obligation to be, streaming or like any of that. So he's basically just made his money stretch that he's made for the past few years. Over the last 3 years, he's made a stretch, and it's just like a big, long ass vacation, bro. Like he's just doing whatever he wants. Probably he's chilling. He doesn't get on a chart, bro. He doesn't take any trades.
So speaking of a vacation and stuff, do you think trading on vacation is a smart idea?
I don't think it's a bad idea. I think as long as you can like stay level-headed and like it's literally just about you and how you are able to manage it, right?
Hmm.
If you think that trading on vacation is not smart because you are not going to be able to make it work, then don't do it. I've traded on vacation before. I think it's fine because I can like kind of get in my zone. When I sit in front of my laptop, I'm like, bro, I'm the outside world is gone. It's just me and the charts
Because
and right and the people on my lab. That's it.
Because all these, I hear a lot of traders on social media. They talk about don't trade while you go on vacation. If you're going on a vacation, don't open the charts. Blah blah blah. It fucks up your mental. Um, and I didn't really agree with that because when I went to Spain, when I went to whatever vacations that I've gone on, I've traded through them. Obviously, I was not profitable at the time, so I can't really say much on this subject because I've been profitable for like 3 months now or something, maybe a little less than that. But since you've been trading for so long, you would say that going on vacation while trading, I mean, it all just depends on if
Like,
you're.
yeah, it depends on it. It's different for everybody, right? It's the same thing that I was talking about with the strategies. Like one thing that works for somebody might not be the same thing that works for you.
Yeah.
Okay, because you might have a different personality than somebody else.
So.
So for me and my personality, I'm able to make it work. All right,
Mhm.
like you start trading for the freedom, and the location freedom is one of those freedoms that you get. So why would you not want to use that, right? Like I want to be able to just be on a boat in Mykonos and then just fucking like
Trade.
place a trade. Like that is sick. You know what I mean? That's so fire. But as long as you can like kind of be in that zone, it's fine, bro. I don't think it's a big deal. I think it works perfectly.
So, what do you think? Talking about like social media, trading, vacation, opinions, blah blah blah. What do you think most traders that are new? What do you think they get wrong most? What do most new traders get wrong? Better phrased.
I mean, again, it's like there's so many things.
The thing that
But I
makes
think
them
one of
the thing that
One of the things right now, I think, for the current time that we're in, that is going to fuck a lot of people over, is social media. Genuinely think that that's what it is because, bro, you can go on, and I tell people this all the time. Once you find somebody that is like that works well with you, right? One that works well with your personality and kind of what you're looking to achieve, then get the hell off of social media completely, right? Because you should not be a student, an active student on social media because anybody that's on social media can attest to this. One scroll through Twitter and you find how many guys that are shilling out their strategies saying this is the golden strategy, golden system right here. One scroll through TikTok, you have about probably thousands of mentors, fucking multi-millionaires in their C8 Corvettes trying to sell you a Discord. Like, how many are there, bro? So that's like something I think right now that is probably the worst thing for new traders. And also, not to mention, this is also kind of a really shitty time to start because you're probably if you started trading in the last 2 months, I just feel I really feel for you because
not
you
trading, bro.
probably you probably think that trading is not profitable
Yeah.
because of like you know the time that you started.
I got so
But
lucky, bro. With my
you,
start time, I literally got so lucky because it was good for that period of time
it
where I was
was
learning, and then it got
it was
shit like right after. But going back to like social media and everything, that's a great point because social media, number one, it's fucking retarded. Number two, like you are literally fucking yourself over every single time you strategy up. I think that I had a really big advantage starting to trade, obviously because I was already friends with you. Um, but also, like I head in the dirt, like since I was only listening to you, I only was trading the PO3, and that like helped me so much because I would look for a specific set of confluences. I would learn exactly how the market traded when I was supposed to be trading, and I knew exactly what I was doing. I wasn't, confusing myself and all this stuff, and it helped me even to the point where I switched my strategy to how I trade now, which is more like discretionary and stuff, as you've probably seen. But it really helped me because I was like, okay, like the reason I switched was like, okay, the PO3 is not really delivering in this market, and I spoke with you on the phone about it, and you were like, if you want to switch, go ahead and switch, but like don't be a dumbass, like blah blah blah. So what I did was I took everything I learned about the PO3, like all the confluences, all the market narrative, everything, and I was just back testing. I just back tested for like 2 weeks straight, um, on like finding a drawn liquidity and looking for confluences that align with that and trading based off that, like around market open. And that's just how I figured out how to trade now. Um, Along with like I would speak to some other guys that I'm friends with in the trading community as well. But that was the main thing. And so I literally went from head down in the sand trading the 4 hour PO3 to head down in the sand trading this. And there's no like, I don't watch a video nowadays on social media. I'm not like, okay, wait, I got to try this out. Like, especially right now, like with everybody top and bottom ticking, you, Pal, Shinobi, everyone. It's so fucking easy to be like, holy shit, these trades are insane. Let me just go ahead and start top and bottom ticking. What are they doing? Blah blah blah. It's so easy to do that, but like that would mean that I'm throwing away everything that I learned, and why switch up something that's working? So I feel like this is a thing that a lot of especially new traders get wrong, where they see all these influencers, and the crazy part is that it's almost like they're swayed by the amount of followers that the influencers have posting about these trades. Like, oh, this guy has
yeah.
600K followers and he makes hella bread from trading. I'm gonna trade his strategy. Where it's like, bro, what the fuck are you even? Like, followers has nothing to do with the fucking market. Like, you're the only one executing
Yeah.
on the charts.
Bro, again, like this it goes back to what I was saying. Something that works for one person might not work for you. It just might not because your personalities are completely different. That's why, like I told you, there's zero problem with you switching your strategy, right? If you are being smart about it. Now, like you can never unlearn the things that you're taught when it came to PO3, right? And those are things that you can, you know, you can integrate those things into your new system and help make that an even better system, right? Um, and it's like you build a foundation trading the PO3, even if that's not a system that you ever trade again, doesn't matter. You built a foundation trading that model. You built a foundation of habits, discipline, rules, all these things. You built that foundation. So now that when you've switched to another model, you can basically carry those same habits, your same rules into another model, and it works just as effectively, right?
Exactly.
Like it does not matter.
Exactly. And a lot of my model is the higher time frame PE rate, lower time frame confluence. That is like a big part of how I trade. But I feel like talking about trading is kind of annoying. I feel like the people here want to know you. Want to know Keyflow
Okay.
Trades. So with that, um, what does a typical trading day look like for you? What are you doing? What are you doing? What time are you waking up? When you hopping on the charts? What do you? I know you have a Discord,
Uh,
obviously. Cobra
yep.
Trading. Shout out the OGs. What do you? How does that look?
So it's a typical day. Usually I'll wake up around 8:30, 8:30 to 9ish. Uh, you know, get my little morning routine done. I come sit at my desk at right around like 9:20ish,
Morning shit and
9:15ish.
piss.
Yeah, yeah. And then I will just kind of scope out the market for a little bit. And then I start my lives. Now I start them around 9:30, 9:45. I start my lives.
A little earlier.
Recently I've been starting them a little earlier because the market has been moving at 9:30
Yeah,
and then 10 a.m. opens and it's
bro. Before
sideways.
9:30. Before
Yeah.
9:30, dog.
Yeah, so I've been waking up a little bit earlier recently. Back then I could wake up at 9:45 and still have like a great day. So yep, I'll start my live. I'll be live usually till about like 11:30ish, 11ish. It really depends on how many trades we end up taking, and we can call it a day earlier. And after that's done, I get a little bit of work done in terms of like either recording videos or recording videos for my courses, whatever. Get some work done, and then low key, the rest of my days, I kinda just do whatever, I'll monitor the market always.
hmm
I'm always watching.
You
And
you just copped a new little toy.
yep, I
Pretty
got I got a new
expensive.
little toy.
A little expensive
Yep,
toy. You want to
yep.
elaborate on that? What toy did you buy?
Well, so I got a GT3, I got a 911 GT3, and then I also just got a F80 M3, so they keep me pretty occupied, that's like kind of my passion, beyond just trading. My passion is cars. I love cars. So when I'm done trading, kind of just do like car related shit, you know what I mean? Like I'll go on my car TikTok and make some car TikToks, you know what I
Drag
mean?
racing,
So no, no,
drifting
no,
in
I
the
don't do the
streets,
rate.
crashing into people.
Okay, anyways, not any of those things. No, dude, bro, I'll like go out with my friends. We'll all meet up, like some of my
You guys do
IRL
car meets
friends.
and stuff.
Go to a car meet, like, or we'll just go hang out with some of my friends, like, something like that, bro. Usually though, I try to kind of just like leave the house because it does, as you now know, it does get really, really boring being a full-time trader
Yeah.
because you don't have any. Like the thing is that you're low key a piece of shit. You provide nothing to society unless you are like one of those people that's like actively trying to help, right? Like me and you. All right, for example, not to toot our own horns, but like if you're making videos trying to help people, if you're making free courses, if you have a Discord, if you have all these things, like you're actively trying to help people. But as a trader, you genuinely have no value in society. You could literally, your job could disappear and the world would run fine because your job does not matter. Like I'm telling you, you're just a piece of shit.
That's why.
And sometimes I think about that. Like I'm like, dude,
Yeah.
there's fucking doctors out there that make like less money. There's teachers out there that make less money. There's people that like genuinely contribute stuff to society, and you make more money than all of them. And it's like, dude,
That's why our
horrible.
buddy, well, your buddy more than my buddy, but I became a little bit of buddies with him over the 1.5 days that I spent with him. He has a construction company, so
He
he's really
does.
not a piece of shit. He's actually a grown ass man with a wife, probably
Yeah,
some
yeah.
kids coming soon, and
Yeah, so yeah, he's like, he's to provide something to society, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But we're actually working on starting something together
Oh,
right now,
really?
so that maybe I feel like less of a piece of
You
shit,
wanna you
like a
wanna
little
talk
brick and mortar,
talk about that a
We're
little
we're
bit?
we're gonna start. I'm not gonna talk too much about it, but it's something in the automotive is business. We're
Mm-hmm.
gonna open something automotive
Okay,
related. Um,
detailing shop, basically.
Not a detailing shop, not a
Not a
detailing shop.
detailing shop.
No, no, no. Way too oversaturated. Not a detailing shop. It's gonna be something else. But we are looking to do that, so I will feel less like a piece of shit.
Interesting.
And then that'll become like a little passion project,
That's
After
tight.
I'm done trading, I'm gonna be over there, putting the hours in, clocking in.
That's something that I've picked up on through this becoming a full-time day trader sort of process. Because as I had my marketing agency thing, and since fully transitioning into day trading, I'll call you at like fucking 12:30 p.m. I'm like, yo, what the fuck do I even do right now? Like, what is there to do? So it's like, my routine.
That's how you've been going on all these walks, bro.
Yeah,
Because
bro.
what the hell? What are you gonna do?
I'm down 14 pounds, bro. I weigh in
It's
at
sick.
185. Like I was 198. Like fucking stupid. But yeah, like my routine, even though nobody's asking, like I'll wake up. I'll wake up.
What's your routine, Charlie? Tell us your
Thank you for
routine.
asking. Thank you for asking. I'll wake up at like 9. Hop on the charts at like 9:15. Find a draw, take a trade. I'm usually done trading, as you've probably seen from my content. Like I'm done trading by like 9:45, like 9:50, which is nice, but also at the same time it's not that nice. Um, so I'll do that literally right after. So quick with it, make a fucking trade recap right away. Just so I don't forget my trade. And honestly, it's so easy. It takes like 10 minutes and it helps everybody. So like, why not? I'm about to hit 10K on YouTube. Pretty huge. I have like 9.2K right now. But post a trade recap, post a few TikToks, go on my first walk, um, eat, walk, maybe play tennis. I'm trying to find like new hobbies that align with what I do now.
Imagine the West Coast traders.
Yeah, dude, I can't imagine being a full
They're
time.
done trading. If you're done trading,
They have to wake up
what
at
time does the market
5.
open? Okay, so wait. What
What
time
it
does the market open?
6:30,
5:30?
6:30.
Okay, so if market opens at 6:30, and let's say like you're done by 7 a.m., what are you gonna do for the rest?
You gotta go back to sleep. You got to.
Oh hell no, bro. That's bad. That's really
I
bad.
think I might like
No,
do that.
if I had that, genuinely, not even lying, I would get a job as well.
No, here's what I would do genuinely if I had that. I would actually that's not a bad idea, first of all. Second of all, what I would probably do is I'd do that for like a month, 2 months, or however long it takes to actually make any sort of money, get my money up, and then move to the East Coast right away. Like I'm wasting no time
Yeah,
living on
but
the West Coast
okay, but
anymore.
if you're one of those people that's like just stuck on the West Coast, I would get a job, bro. I would get a job. So
Yeah,
maybe you
legit.
provide something to society. 'Cause
Bro,
if you get a nine
because
to five, like
even if
so
you
easy.
do, like after you're trading, you still have time to shower, go to the gym,
You're done
like
at
get
7.
coffee.
You're done at 7. You have 2 hours till you have to clock
I
in.
know. You
You
have,
could go to the gym. You
yeah,
could go to the gym.
that's what
Yeah,
I'm
you could do
saying. You
whatever.
can go to the gym, you can get a coffee, you can fucking eat bread. Like you can literally trade and then, actually have a morning
Goon.
after, which now sounds kind of lit actually. But
Yeah,
the only downside is that you have to wake up at the crack of dawn every single day, which kind of sucks.
that does suck, but I'm sure you get used to it.
Like you gotta go to sleep at like 10 p.m.
Yeah, but after you work a 9 to 5, you're probably hella tired, so it's gonna be easy for you to go to sleep at 10 p.m.
Yeah, that is true. So, okay, looking forward, we're like 48 minutes in right now. But if you lost everything, like tomorrow, you lost absolutely everything, you have to start over. How'd you do that? What would you do? What would be your first action?
Go get a job.
You'd get a job.
I would get a job. I would save up at least. So I would get a job. And wait, I lost everything material like wise, but I didn't
Everything.
lose my knowledge of trading, right?
No, you lost everything.
I lost my knowledge of trading.
Yeah, everything. Reset to like 2020.
Reset. Oh my God, I might have to kill myself because I'm not watching ICT's content again.
Bro, you're not gonna. That's hilarious. No,
Nah,
bro.
genuinely though,
Genuinely.
I would basically, low key, I wouldn't do anything differently than what I did now, bro, or what I've done. I would get a job that doesn't necessarily interfere with my trading hours or where I have a little bit of downtime during the trading hours. Um, and while I'm saving up money, I'm actively paper trading. I'm paper trading, paper trading, paper trading. And paper trading is good for one thing, to kind of hone down the technical analysis side of things.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's not simulating a real environment because you're not experiencing the emotions, but it doesn't matter because it's like one thing at a time, right? Like process of elimination. So if I go straight into trading right now head first and I start having issues, we don't know if the issues are technical related, right? And we don't know if the issues are psychology
You
related.
mean if you
So
load
if
up
I
the
paper
chart
trade,
and you just press buy or sell
yeah.
without knowing anything?
So you don't know like where the issue arises from, or even if you know a little bit about both, you still don't know where the issue arises from. So I would get the technical analysis portion down because that's the easiest part of trading, and then I would go on to a real, actually not even a real market. I would probably start off with a prop firm, and kind of try to build some capital with a prop firm, and I think that's like the lowest barrier of entry. Would like $50, get an account,
Yep. Yep.
boom, start running through those, probably going to blow several evals, probably going to blow several fundeds. And then once I'm like 5 grand deep into accounts, I'll probably start making money again, kind of
And
like,
do
kind of how it
you
goes.
do you uh do you have an end goal with trading? What's your 30, 40 years down the line? Do you still want to be trading or what's the goal here?
Yeah. So trading for me has always been kind of like a vehicle to it's not to create wealth. It's more to like acquire capital to put into places that will create wealth. So this is something that I would use to, put more money into real estate or maybe start like a passion project kind of business. What I'm doing right now. Like I said, bro, my real passion is cars. And I would love to do something that surrounds cars because that to me won't even work.
NASCAR driver?
As far as what's that?
You want to become a NASCAR driver?
Dude, I actually went to ChatGPT and I was like,
I was
what are the
joking.
I'm 20 I'm 23 years old, like I have a good decent amount of money. What are the chances I could be an F1 driver? And that shit said it's cooked. So that's like really the only thing I want to
Did you
do. So
really type that in thinking that like
I
there's a
swear to God I did.
chance?
I swear to God I did. Yeah, because I was like, wait, what are the chances I could become one? And it said zero. You have to become a go-kart driver when
Dude,
you're 5 years old.
I
So
saw
that's cooked.
I saw like from the F1 event recently in Miami, I saw a video of some guy trying to press down the pedal standing up,
What do you mean?
like the F1 car. And supposedly the pedals and the steering wheels are it's like super hard to press the pedal and
Yeah, it is.
super hard to turn the wheel. Cause
Yes, it
do
is.
they have power steering or no?
It won't feel like you do. You never seen the training that they do with like all the G forces and how they're like boom, like they're turning the wheel hell. Oh shit,
No,
they're
no, you're
turning the
good.
wheel hella hard because it's hard to turn.
How
Like yeah,
how fast do those cars go?
200 some miles an hour,
270?
200 something, like
Oh,
200 something. I'm not exactly sure.
that's wild.
But
Even on the
that's
turns?
my real passion. Like in 30 years down the road, I imagine myself having like maybe one or maybe several successful automotive businesses or some businesses of some sort. Obviously like money in different places. And then I would be low key like Umar, bro. I'd be coming to the market maybe once a month, take a trade, 80 bands, out. You know what I
Smart.
mean?
That's
Like that's
smart.
kind of like low key. Like if I my thing is like, yo, if I want to buy like I love it trading because if I want to, like let's say I want to buy something, okay? Let's say I want to buy a car and I want to put down
You did this
$50,000 on
recently
the car.
with something. I forgot what. You told me the same thing.
I don't know, I forget.
Continue.
Let's say I want to put down $50,000 on a car. I'll go and trade, and basically like my goal will be to like take all these trades, like take good trades, and then by the end of the month maybe make that 50 grand and then put that 50 grand. I love not being able to pull money out of my pocket.
It's like
So that's what I kind of see myself doing, like 30, 40 years down the line. If I want like, if I want a new in-ground pool, okay, bro, I'm putting 20 minis on a trade, and if I could make a cool 40, 50K, withdraw, in-ground pool free.
It's like passing an eval but with higher stakes.
Yeah, yeah, way higher stakes. But yeah, exactly,
So,
exactly, bro.
okay, we're like 55 minutes in. This has been fucking excellent so far. I have three questions, final
Hmm.
high impact questions that I want to ask you just
Red
before.
folder, red folder questions.
Red folder questions.
Okay,
High volatility. Okay?
okay.
Okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
Gay son or thought daughter?
Gay son,
Really?
100%,
100%.
100 million% a gay son.
What
I
makes you
can't even
say that?
imagine
Can
the
you
thought
defend
of.
it a little bit?
I can't even imagine. Like, think. I don't know. I feel like as like a father, you probably like care more about your daughter. Like you love your daughter.
But
Like
how is that going to go
that's
over
like
with your religious family?
what?
Gay son? Is that allowed?
Okay, like I know, no, it's not. But like, just disown the fucking guy, and then I thought,
So then you
like,
wouldn't
that's what
rather
I would
that.
not, I would not. No, I would rather that than a thought daughter.
Okay.
Bro, think of your daughter getting trained. Just think for a second,
Okay. Wait.
and then think about your son being gay. Like that's not as bad.
No, it's not. Okay,
Okay, thank
so
you.
I have a backup question to that. Okay. Gay son or Down syndrome daughter? What's funny?
Um, Down syndrome daughter.
What makes you say that?
I don't want a gay son either. Down syndrome daughter, like it's
But
still
the
a person, bro.
costs, no?
You could still love your daughter.
What, you think
The
you
cost,
think you could
bro,
train
money,
her?
bro. Huh?
You're gonna train her
You mean train her?
like a dog? Like
What do you mean? What are you talking about? No, what do you
she has
mean train
Down
her like a
syndrome.
dog? Yeah, I know, but Down syndrome people are still people. Like, bro, they're still affect. Did you not come with me to the coffee shop in my area that's literally just only Down syndrome people that work there?
No, I didn't. You didn't want to go.
Oh, true. Yeah, okay, well,
No, I'm joking. I would definitely
because the
choose.
coffee was asked, the coffee was
Yeah,
asked,
no.
but
Guys, by the way,
the
this is a joke. I do not hate people with Down syndrome. I love them.
no, you do, but it's okay. We can continue.
Okay. Um, one more question. One more question.
Mm-hmm.
You don't drink anymore, correct? Why is that? And do you think it's had a positive effect on your trading?
I mean, I just don't think there's a point in drinking. Like you can, I'm somebody that can enjoy my time anywhere without feeling the need to drink. You know what I
But
mean?
sometimes it's
Like,
fun. Like you go out with your friends, like you
but
want to be a little loose. Like
I promise you, I can promise you with 100% certainty, I can have the same amount of fun you would have while you're drunk and me being sober.
you really think
People
so?
might not agree with me, and people might not think that, but I'm telling you, I can.
But you used to drink.
I just don't like putting myself in those places. Like I don't like being in places like that, you know, where people are doing shit like this because I feel like people who have like genuine ambitions or they're chasing like real goals, they're not wasting their time or their money or their lives going out and, you know, doing shit like that every weekend. Like I know people that have been going out for years
Marcus,
every weekend. Every weekend.
Miles,
Marcus?
Miles, Miles.
Yeah, I'm not gonna say any
Shout out
names, but
Miles.
yeah, but he doesn't anymore. He doesn't
Oh,
anymore
he
though.
stopped?
Yeah, yeah. Miles stopped.
Like
So
he's
good.
sober,
Shout
sober?
out, shout out, sober, sober. Yeah, shout out Miles.
Shout out Miles.
Um,
Damn, that's crazy.
yeah, bro. Shout out to him. But yeah, he doesn't anymore. But like, bro, I mean, you can ask anybody that like has drank for a good period of time. They'll probably tell you, yeah, being sober is like the best thing I ever did in my life. Because you now you're no longer in those places like you have like a I'm sure like I don't really know the science behind fucking like drinking or whatever like you know I don't but I'm sure if you go ask somebody like you know the positive effects of not drinking they could give you a lot, okay?
I'm
So
sure. Yeah, I'm
you
sure.
know what I mean, and I'm sure it makes you more like it gives you more clarity like when you're sober, like especially sitting down and trading and whatever, you know, like I'm sure that these things obviously all have a role to play because the way that you are off the charts is the way that you're going to be when you're on the charts, right? Like
Hmm.
that's just quite literally how it is. If you're an impatient person outside of the charts, then you're going to be an impatient person on the charts. I used to be the most impatient guy, bro. I used to be so impatient. I used to be the person, bro, if I wanted something, I
Bro, you
would pay
still
an
are
extra.
impatient.
No, I still am, but bro, it's like so much. It's like extremely, extremely dialed down to what I was, bro. Bro, if I wanted to buy something, right, and there was a chance that I could drive somewhere local and go get it, like if I could drive even 3 hours away and go get it, I'm driving the 3 hours to go get it instead of waiting for shipping. Okay, I'm like I've bought cars.
I'm the
I'll give you an
same way,
example.
bro. I'm the same
I've
way.
I've I've bought cars from out of state that I could pay like $800 to get them shipped here. I would rather just to get it early. I would rather go there myself and drive the thing back because I'm not waiting for shipping for something
Bro,
I'm that excited for. You know what I mean? I'm so impatient when it comes to
you know
that.
what you were way too patient on where we could have used this impatience? GT3RS that
What do
we
you mean?
that we looked at the car dealership. That the cowboy hat guy,
Oh
rodeo
my
man took
god.
away from you.
Oh my
You were
god,
way
bro.
too
Shout out,
patient with
yeah.
that. Guys, so
Shout out to
basically,
Dave.
shout
It
out
ended up
Dave.
working out though. It ended up working out.
Yeah, shout out
Like I
Dave.
got like you could tell the story. Go ahead, tell
Yeah,
him.
so we go. Keyflow's suddenly, as he is, just impulsively interested in buying a GT3 RS, as people do normally. So we're like, all right, where can we look? So he has his contact. We go to the dealership. Checking out the car. We go outside. We look at it. We're like, damn, this is a nice ass car. Like it's in this beautiful orange color. What was the color called? You know it?
Oh, lava orange.
Lava orange, like sexy ass car, really nice interior, lava orange seat belts as well, black seats. It was beautiful, and we go inside for a second to try to like find an associate. And as we're walking inside, we look out the window. We see this older guy in a cowboy hat getting in the car, and we're like, oh, what's this guy doing? So we ask the guy that he knew, the contact. We asked him, said, "Oh, they're just going through for a test drive. Nothing serious. After they get back, we can go ahead. You can go for one. We'll take a look at it, and then we can do some paperwork. Blah blah blah." Guy decides to buy the GT3 RS before getting out of the GT3 RS during the test drive
In cash.
in cash. Super nice guy though. I mean, he came inside after we talked to him for a little bit, and
Yeah, he literally apologized for like buying it out from under me.
he has like
But
four other GT3
yeah,
RSs.
yeah, he was just a collector. Like it was just like another one added to his collection. Like, buddy, like
Yeah, and we were.
at least he was cool.
He
His
was.
son was like a cool
They
dude, like
both were
hella
cool.
down to earth.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Super
Like
random.
you would expect the son of somebody like that to be like kind of cocky because he probably has everything. And the dude was just hella like chill, bro. Like super down to earth kid.
The funny
Fuck with
part
him.
is, as we were driving in, we're like, "Who the fuck is this guy in the cowboy hat?" Like,
Dude, he just had aura though.
yeah,
Like you
it
could
was.
tell.
He had the big
You could tell he
chain,
had
the
aura.
big belt buckle with the tucked in white
Yeah,
shirt,
yeah.
literal
When he
cowboy.
started checking out the GT3 RS, I'm telling you, there was a thought in my mind that went like he might actually buy that because he looks like he can afford it.
Yeah, insane.
Just the aura that came off of the guy.
Aura. Yeah, but
Hella.
that was a fun trip. Probably gonna pop out again next
Yeah,
month.
let's run it back, bro.
Yeah,
Come
we
back.
are. We are. Powell and I are
I'm gonna be I'm
planning.
gonna be I'm gonna be moving soon. Maybe by the end of August or like middle August. So just you pull up
Where?
and I can't dox myself on your
Oh
YouTube
shit.
channel.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Well,
I'll tell you
guys,
though.
it's been a little over an hour here. I think we're gonna call it here. Thank you, Keyflow, for hopping on and letting me, letting you be the test dummy for this new series that I'm trying to do. Also,
Now the
guys,
bar is set so high that you're just gonna be disappointed
I
all the other
know,
interviews
bro.
because
This was actually
thing.
so good. It's gonna be. I'm gonna need to come way more prepared for the next ones because I was a little prepared for this one and it was fire. So
No, but this was good. Like it flowed well.
yeah,
Like
yeah, yeah.
I think this was a good interview, bro. I'm glad I did this. I
Yeah.
almost was like,
You thought it was gonna
but
be like one of those dumbass podcasts? Nah,
yeah, yeah. No, but
nah,
this is
nah,
good.
nah.
This is good.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, the whole point of this series is gonna be to show the audience a little bit more about the traders I bring on and their lifestyles and how they trade and their stories and stuff. And I think, you know, I just think it was important to me that you were the first one to come on since like you sort of introduced me into everything trading. So with that being said, guys, go follow Keyflow on all of his socials. Keyflow Trades on everything, right? Is that
Yep.
right? Just
Yep. Yeah.
Keyflo. I'll link them down below. You can follow him there. Also, his Discord, Cobra Trading. That was my origin story. So if you want to go check that out too, you can go check that out. He live trades Monday through Friday, I believe, like every morning at like 9:40, as we were talking about in the episode. But you have anything to say before we go ahead and end it?
No,
No?
that's it, bro. Thanks for having me on.
Of course, bro. With that being said, peace out, guys, and we'll catch you in the next one. Subscribe if you're new. I'm gonna do way more of these. Leave a comment, read all my comments, all that bullshit. Peace out, bro.